Okay, welcome to a very special episode of me occasionally, when I feel like it, talking about Smash Brothers and making Smash Brothers related content, which consists of me and Bobby watching something that you could also watch.
That's right.
And saying stuff about it.
This video is sponsored by Welch's.
Oh yeah. Okay, so today in Korea is July. I was looking at the reversed numbers, the way they do it in Korea.
Yeah.
It's July 6th, and tomorrow is July 7th. Now, in Japan, July 7th is the... I'm going to make sure I get this right. There's PapaGenos. Tanabata Festival. Yeah, okay. So July 7th this year, or maybe every year, I'm not sure, but definitely this year, is the Tanabata Festival, or the Star Festival. It's a festival in Japan where the people write their wishes on pieces of paper and affix them to bamboo in the hopes that the wishes are granted. I am not going to pretend to know much about it. I've heard about it. But anyway. This is a Geno and Smash video. This is a follow-up. This isn't like a speculation video exactly. This is PapaGenos did a video like over a year ago, back in like 2018, before Smash Ultimate had even come out, because he thought Geno was going to be in the base roster, and it was called Why Geno, and it was like his reasons. And so I've always kind of wanted to do my own, because we'll get into that. But yeah, that's what this video is. Bobby didn't even really know what this video was. He just knew it was going to be...
You just told me it was going to be about Geno.
Geno and Smash video. Yeah. And honestly, Bobby's only here because I don't want to talk into the camera by myself.
Oh, you do that. You do that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Well, it's also just fun to talk about Smash with people.
Yeah. Yeah. I can talk about memories of Jameson to a camera by myself, but...
Because that's more personal.
I guess I could do it with Smash. I would feel a little strange, but... Anyway, so the Tanabata Festival, the Star Festival about people writing their wishes. The thing about Geno is a lot of people think that if he got into Smash, the stage he would bring with him would be the Forest Maze from Super Mario RPG, because that's where you meet him. He comes to life in Rose Town. Well, not comes to life. He possesses the doll in Rose Town, brings the doll to life as him, and goes into the Forest Maze, and you meet him and like join forces with him in the Forest Maze. But otherwise, like, the Forest Maze has nothing to do with Geno. It's a cool area, the music is cool. It's the only place in the game where you hear that music, the track Beware the Forest Mushrooms. But it has nothing to do with Geno. And so, when they showed off the Geno Mii costume for Smash 4, they played Beware the Forest Mushrooms while they were showing it, so it's likely that that's what they associate with Geno. It's likely that we would get a Forest Maze stage, but I think it'd be more appropriate if we got a stage that actually has more to do with his role in the story. Geno is a star spirit from above. The Super Mario RPG, at the beginning, a sword called Exor plunges down from the sky into Bowser's Keep. On its way down, it shatters the Star Road into 7 pieces, 7 star pieces. Star Road is responsible for granting the wishes of the people down below, and with Star Road shattered, people's wishes can't come true, or their dreams can't come true. At some point in the story, you visit a place called Star Hill, and it's this really pretty, interesting-looking blue place. In the outro of all of PapaGenos' videos, you see like a blue background.
Well, that's it.
That's Star Hill. And the music there is really nice and calm and like mystical sounding. And if you've actually played the game, and you know the story, it's such a no-brainer to take something like that and make that Geno's stage or music associated with it, something like that, because it has so much more to do, because he is like from the Star Road, and the whole point of the game is to restore Star Road so that wishes can be granted again. And anyway, in Star Hill, when you go there, you can find these shiny little stars on the ground as you're walking around. And if you read them, you examine them, you can see that they are wishes made by people, and I think all, or at least almost all of them, correspond to NPCs throughout the game. So it doesn't say who they are, but you can kind of guess if you've been talking to the, the townspeople and getting familiar with them. So you can see how it's kind of similar to this like Star Festival in Japan, where people writing their wishes and putting them on the bamboo, or this Star Hill with people's literal wishes that you can go and read. Yeah, like if Geno got into Smash, I'd want that to be a stage. But anyway, I just wanted to set that up because on the eve of this Star Festival, when some people are speculating that there might be a surprise reveal because of the date, because it's Challenger Pack 77.
Or Challenger Pack 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Challenger Pack 7, Fighter number 77, on the 7th month, July 7th.
7th day.
The 7th day. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Nintendo cares. Everyone who makes these videos says, I don't think that's going to happen, and then people who don't like them go on message boards and say, look at this idiot reaching,
saying it's a fact.
Yeah, like as if the person believes in it, even though usually the person on YouTube said, I don't actually think this is going to happen, I'm just talking about what if.
Yeah.
So, I want to make this clear, I don't expect this to happen. I really don't. But
wouldn't it be cool?
And part of this is literally a wouldn't it be cool video, and if you can't separate that from a prediction in your mind, go ahead and click away and go do something else. Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
No, I don't expect it to happen. The reason I'm doing it is because like if I'm going to do this at any point, even though I don't think the fighter's going to be revealed tomorrow, on the eve of this Star Festival, now seems like an appropriate time to make this video, because Geno is like kind of the last holdout of the like super long time requested characters. I remember being like a late teens, early 20s, before Smash Brothers Brawl had come out, and seeing people online saying they wanted Ridley playable, which I actually thought was absurd, because I was like, no, he's too big. Like, Sakurai said Ridley's too big.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he is too big. It wouldn't be Ridley anymore, but I have no problem. I'm like glad Ridley got in because people are happy, and I have no problem with it.
Sakurai's just like, it's my last Smash Brothers game. Yeah, why not?
Not wearing every single one of these videos. I have a moment where I'm like, I'm not wearing my bracelet, and then I put my bracelet on. But yeah, so back in the day, people wanted Ridley, people wanted K. Rool, people wanted Banjo-Kazooie. No one ever thought that was going to happen. Over a year ago now.
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie got into Smash. Simon Belmont was a big one for a while.
Yeah.
Isaac from Golden Sun was actually, I think, decently pretty big back in the day, although that's not going to happen now. I don't think he's an assist trophy. But now that Min Min has been released, and she was already a 3-star spirit in the game, and now she's playable, and she has a fighter spirit that's different from her in-game like equipable spirit, and the fighter spirit says in parentheses fighter next to Min Min. So it's like, oh, it's no problem. It turns out that PNG file wasn't going to hold them back from adding a playable character if they wanted to add it. Go figure.
Exactly. Now, I mean, all these rules and restrictions have pretty much been made up by the community.
Yeah. And people were so... I mean, it was always kind of a debate back and forth, and the reasonable people were just like, we don't know, because we didn't know. Mm-hmm. But there were people who were just like, spirits disconfirmed.
Yeah, no, it's just...
You were all wrong.
Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, no, they don't.
People just come up with their own rules.
Yeah.
Like, Nintendo never... Sakurai never stated any of these rules, right? They can break their own rules. I mean, they're not even rules. They can do whatever they want.
Sakurai is in a business meeting with... I don't know, Square-Enix, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? We've had a change in leadership. We've restructured some of our departments, and the new guy in charge really wants to give you Sephiroth. No, hold on. That's not... Shoot, there's so little Square content in the game. This is a bad example.
Yeah.
Not Square-Enix. Okay, they're in a meeting with...
Sega.
There's a Rayman spirit, right?
Rayman, yeah.
Okay, let's say Rayman.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, they're in a meeting with some Ubisoft execs, and they're like, we've done some restructuring, and the new guy in charge of this department, he really wants to give you Rayman. This is not even a negotiation. Like, we'll pay you to put Rayman in the game. This is a fantasy scenario. We'll pay you to put Rayman in the game. And Sakurai's like, oh, that's... And they're like, we'll even pay all of your developers to develop Rayman. Couldn't be more perfect for you. And he's like, this is wonderful, but I've already put a still image of Rayman in the game as a spirit. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't take you up on this offer. That's absurd.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's just people want to like find any sort of like any like scrap of evidence they can to like say this character's deconfirmed, this one's deconfirmed, this one hasn't been confirmed yet. Like speculation for Smash Brothers is like, I mean, I was never big into it. Like I only really started playing Smash a lot when this game came out.
Yeah.
Really. I played a little of Smash 4, but...
Yeah.
And, I mean, I played, like... I remember playing Melee when I went to my friend's house, like, back when we were in elementary school, but...
Okay.
But, yeah. Jeez, people speculate for this game like no other.
Yeah. Well, if Nintendo just doesn't tell anybody what's in the packs they're going to be releasing up front.
I mean, speculating for fighting games isn't, like, out of the ordinary, but, like, Smash Brothers is so, like, mainstream and popular.
Okay, yeah.
It's, like, exponentially more... There's so much more speculation going on, I feel.
Anyway, I didn't mean to segue too hard into a spirits don't disconfirm thing. That was meant to be my little victory. Like, all you guys who were... what I've been saying all along...
Victory lap.
And what any reasonable person would say is, we don't know. Like, Banjo's not going to make it in. He's Microsoft. He's irrelevant. His game hasn't been relevant for 10 years. We don't know. You might be right, but we don't know. Banjo's not going to make it in. We don't know. Oh, look, he's in. You were wrong. Geno's never going to make it in. Maybe not. We don't know. We don't know. Unless you're Sakurai, you're just some rando on the internet who plays video games. Me too. We don't know. Anyway, don't be an idiot, internet. But so yeah, Star Festival and granting wishes. And so I was talking about how Geno is kind of like the last of the big, long time requested characters. And so it would be. I mean, I've told the story before, but 1999, I was 11. Before Smash 64 came out, before the very first Smash Brothers came out, the only one that anyone knew was ever going to exist at the time. I didn't, like, my friend who had a subscription to Nintendo Power Magazine, like, read about it and the concept of it and the premise before it came out, told me about it, and I didn't know who all the playable characters were. And so the first thing I said was, is Banjo-Kazooie going to be in it? Is Geno going to be in it? Geno... I mean, it's weird to think of now because time seemed to pass so much more slowly when I was a kid. But all this was really close together. Mario RPG was 1996. Smash Brothers was 99. That's 3 years. I've been in Korea longer than that time span. But at the time, it seemed like such a long time. So, like, I was a kid. I like story. I think I like video games, but what I actually like is stories. The older I get, the more, like, I'll hear a game. There's a game I've, like, heard was great for years and years, and I play it, and I'm like, man, that sucked. That was really shallow. Because I don't think I actually usually like games that much. I like stories. And I guess I'm intrigued by the way a lot of games dress up their stories with the art and the music and stuff. And I think games can be an extremely profoundly powerful vehicle for storytelling if they're using their unique strengths. I think they often aren't. It keeps losing focus.
Oh, yeah.
I think they often aren't, and people who say that, like, this game and these characters are better than any piece of literature ever written, those people are wrong. Almost always. It means they didn't like reading in high school and they thought it was boring. But
I mean, because video games are very interactive.
Yeah.
I think that's where it becomes like a powerful
I agree.
medium to tell a story.
That's where you get yeah, that's the big punch that video games have. Like, I think the best story I think I've seen in a game. I mean, it's hard to even say what constitutes as best, but I would say like Xenogears from 1998. The Last of Us, I thought, had a really great story. But anyway, this isn't about story. Point is, what I loved in games was stories, and so PapaGenos touched on this in his video. Like, you wanted more of the lore of Mario because Mario was just like levels to get through, and as a kid, you don't quite know how this stuff works, and you think like, here's this new world, the world of Mario. I want to know more about it. It's like wanting to know more about the world of like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, except you're like 8 years old. And so they introduced Mario RPG, and there's all this stuff going on, and people talking to each other, and like stuff's happening, a plot is developing. It's not a very complex plot, but I was 8 years old. Introduced new characters like Mallow, Geno, Croco, who's like a conniving thief crocodile in a hat, who he's like a boss fight twice in the game, and then later, much later towards the end of the game, he's like a merchant, and he sells you stuff, and he acts like nothing ever happened between you, even though you got into two bitter, like violent fights with him. But yeah, there's characters and there's a plot, and so you team up with Bowser, like Mario teams up with Bowser, and Peach, she's called Toadstool back then. Mario, Toadstool, and Bowser can all fight side by side in battles after a certain point in the game. Instead of kidnapping the princess, maybe the princess heals Bowser when he is felled in combat. It's just like, wow, this is interesting stuff, all because of the story that's playing out. They joined forces, and Geno and Mallow were original characters. And you played the game as a kid, you loved the game, and you think, well, Mario, because you think of all Mario games as Mario games, there's like Mario 1, Mario 2. You play Mario RPG, and you think, wow, Mario has gotten good, and you think going forward you're going to see these characters again.
Right.
And the story will continue.
It's like the first time this has happened, so it's like, that's what you expect.
And you're a kid, and you don't think about stuff like, every game after this is going to have a different team behind it, different creative ideas, different stuff. So then, like, they announced Mario RPG 2, and I was, like, looking forward to that. There were no pictures. This was, like, kind of before the internet was, like, widespread. I didn't have a computer at home. Announced Mario RPG 2, and I'm excited for it, because I used to, like, make up my own Mario RPG 2 on paper, and I would, like, draw what the levels looked like. And, like, in this one, Croco joins your team, and there's all this stuff. And then it turns out, later on, because of they want to avoid the legal stuff with Square, who is kind of left Nintendo, they rename it Paper Mario, and it looks totally different, and it's like a totally different thing. And like, I know people love Paper Mario. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it was such like a wait, what? Like, I thought it was Mario RPG 2. What I wanted was more Geno and more like, I want people who remember this fight against Smithy and all this stuff that happened in this game. And I want a new adventure in this world with these characters. Like, maybe Geno comes back and they're like, wow, Geno, it's been a long time. And I'm like, oh, it's continuing. It's a sequel. It's a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I wanted. But no, they never came back. Mallow never came back. Geno never came back. It's the horrible, grim reality of the things that kids love being produced by companies with different interests. And Nintendo collaborated with Squaresoft. And I think I've been sinfully saying Square-Enix this entire time. They're not the same company. Squaresoft and Square-Enix are different beasts. Yeah, they collaborated with Square-Enix to make the game. I think it was like Square all but made the game, but they just used Nintendo's like intellectual properties and characters and stuff, and Nintendo published it or whatever. And then, Square got upset with Nintendo because the 64 was not going to use a disk drive, and Square was like, I thought you were going to use the disk drive, and then Square went to PlayStation. So, no more of those characters.
And Nintendo went to Philips.
So I went to Kmart, and I think Mario Kart 64 was already out, but Kmart was using an outdated trailer for the game on their, like, advertisement reel of Mario Kart 64, and I saw a blue cloaked figure riding a cart, and he was not playable in the game. And I thought it was Geno, and I was like, how do you get Geno in Mario Kart? And there was an older boy there at the game's
Wasn't
section.
it like Kamek? Or like the Magic Koopa?
Yeah, it was Magic Koopa, I think. It was from like an older build of the game. He never actually made it in.
Yeah.
And
there's screenshots of that.
Okay.
You can find it on the internet.
Yeah, so there was a video of that playing at Kmart, and but you only see him from behind, and so I was like, Geno, because that's one of my I wanted to see it, and I was like, so there was another boy there that I didn't know, and I was like talking to him, and I was like, I want to get Geno, like, is that Geno? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what? How do you get Geno in Mario Kart? And he's like, at the start menu of the game, you got to press up, down, up, down, up, down 10 times. And he like
just BS.
He lied perfectly. Yeah. Like, it's really impressive. He probably grew up and did bad things.
Kids do that. Like, or kids did that back then. Like, I remember like trying to find codes and secrets for games I had, and I never like used the internet that much, so I didn't like think about the fact that people would just lie and put random crap on the internet. So I'd find like, I don't know, some like cheat codes or something, and it's like they didn't work at all, or some thing you'd have to do to unlock a character in a game, and it's like something ridiculous. But like you'd try it, and it's just like,
that doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all. Same with like the Pokemon with the trying to move the truck with strength.
Yeah, I tried that.
All that crap. Like,
yeah,
kids would just come up with whatever, and one way or another it'd become widespread.
Some of them became like epics, like really grand. There was like a message board thread for Banjo-Tooie where at a certain point it was just like everyone knew all the like secrets in it were fake, but they were just writing them for fun, I think. And some of them were like adding in whole new story campaigns to the game if you do this.
You unlock Banjo 3.
It's like a ton of the game is just buried in this secret that's really hard to find. Like, they put all this work into it, but it's like so hard to find, which like makes no sense, but they just all this stuff. But yeah, that kid at Kmart was an asshole. And I went home and I tried, like, it's not even so much that I tried it. I pressed up and down on the stick a bunch of times, and I tried it several times, and like, oh, it didn't work. I turned the N64 off, turn it back on, because it's unclear whether if I fail, I can do it again on the same start screen, or do I have to start the entire game over. It's unclear.
Oh, man, you spent time doing this.
Yeah, but it's not even so much that. It's just the fact that he got my hopes up because I wanted Geno to be back. And like, okay,
in some form, even if it's just Mario Kart.
And PapaGenos has touched on this, but that's what people want. Like, Doriaki Q's on GameFAQs says you need to get him in more Mario games. Like, I agree, but that's not really happening. And his best chance to come, Nintendo's not going to put him in a Mario game. Like, not one that Square-Enix is not also developing. Like, if you don't know who Doriaki Q's is, watch my last video, the Min Min reaction. Watch the whole hour.
Watch your rant.
Watch my 5-minute rant on this GameFAQs message board user. But like, the thing is, what he's saying is true, kind of, but it's not going to happen. Geno's best chance to return is for Smash, because that's where he's been requested for years, like not decades, like over a decade.
Right.
Literally over, like 2008 was a brawl, like literally over a decade. Sakurai knows people want him in, like they added the costume.
Yeah.
That is his best chance, not Mario Galaxy whatever, Mario Odyssey 2. Like, his best chance to return is Smash. He's a spirit in Smash. He was a Mii costume in Smash 4. That's his best shot right now.
It's like the only things he's appeared in since.
That is realistic. I mean, like, even if it's not, that is more realistic than him showing up in Mario Party. Yeah. Like, hey, Square-Enix, can you chip in Geno for Mario Party? It's not going to happen.
Right.
I keep talking about Geno, but like, I'd be happy to see Mallow too. It's just, Mallow's not going to happen.
One of those characters from Mario RPG.
Yeah, but people have been requesting like Geno, not Mallow.
And if they put in a character from that game, it's going to be the one that everyone's
been requesting for ages. Yeah, I want Geno more, but I would be very close to. How do I phrase this? Like, I would be very close to as happy to see Mallow as I would Geno. It's just that Mallow is not going to happen. So Geno's the one I talk about. Anyone who's still watching this is insane. It's like 24 minutes. That's okay. No one cares that much. This is for me to put on while I'm at work and practicing guitar. Yeah. But anyway. So what was I even saying? Like, Doriaki Q's, but why did I bring him up?
Just talking about
wanting
to see Geno
wanting to see him again. Game. Yeah, I want to see him again. So it's not about like, and other people would be like, if you wanna play as Geno, just play as Mega Man. Like, he's blue and small and he has a gun arm too. See, it's done. But Geno's irrelevant. This is like I could say this in my sleep.
People just like deflecting everything.
I think everyone has like tapped into a shared like auto text prediction thing on their phones for the past 2 years, where they're like, you tap out Geno and press it, and the next word is, and your phone will auto type for you. Geno is an irrelevant side character from a 25-year-old spin-off game. I know, like, that's kind of what I'm saying. I want to see him again. Relevancy isn't really an issue anyway. Like, had you heard of Ice Climbers before they were added to Melee?
Right. I mean, how many times has Sakurai said that it doesn't matter how popular a character is?
Oh. I don't know how many times, but the fact that he said it at all is like, I mean, he's the one making the game, you guys, not you. Like, It doesn't matter if a character's iconic. It matters if they're fun to play as. That's what he said. He said that during the Terry presentation, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And he knows people have wanted Geno. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like, I'm not saying this is why it's going to happen. I'm talking about what I want. That's what this video is. I'm talking about my wish. I've wanted this since I was 11. But, yeah, you say, like, just play as Mega Man. No.
That's not what people want.
That's not the point. Like, Mega Man has more games. He's a more important video game character, obviously. He is more deserving, like...
Right. As deserving as a character can be.
Yeah, as deserving as a character who's not a person, like, he's done no actual work. Like, as deserving as someone who's not real can be to get into to have the honor of getting into Smash. But, like, yeah, I acknowledge that. Like, Mega Man is more important to video game history. There's Mega Man games. Geno was like, I wouldn't call him a side character. He's, like, one of the main cast. He's in your party. He fights with you. He tells Mario why they have to go get the star pieces. He's kind of important. I know, like, people say that he's mostly he's mostly an exposition dump. And he mostly is. He doesn't have much of a personality, honestly. It's because, I think that's more because he's, like, I don't want to say stoic, but he's like a star being, and he can't relate super well to the fleshly creatures of the world beneath. He's possessing a doll. He's got a mission.
But he's like this cool new character.
Yeah.
That was put into this kid's game.
Yeah. He's an exposition dump, but he's still one of the main cast. Like, you... So anyway, yeah, you say, like, just play as Mega Man. Mega Man's more important, but no, I personally, like, I'm not saying why it should or shouldn't happen, but, like, I didn't really play Mega Man ever in my life. I might have played it a couple times, but it's great that Mega Man's in. I actually thought it was fantastic when he was revealed for Smash 4, because it's like, oh, of course, why hasn't that happened sooner? That was great. Mega Man's great. He's more important than Geno. I don't play Mega Man, I don't care about Mega Man. Glad he's in the game. I want Geno in Smash. Like, you tell me to play as Mega Man because he has a gun for an arm, and Geno has a gun for an arm, and they're both blue. Yeah, but I like Geno, not Mega Man. Like, I want Geno in the game.
Right.
It doesn't mean he's gonna happen. It doesn't mean he should more than someone else. I'm talking about what I want.
Right.
For the love of God.
What so many people want.
I'm talking about what I want. Nothing. If he doesn't get in, it doesn't, like... I'm not going to be like, I hate you personally, and I hate everything that you like. That's stupid. Right. I'm just talking about what I want. I just want this character in the game. Sue me. Like, people on the internet are weird.
Yeah, no, it's strange because it's like they think you saying I want Geno in Smash
is like an attack.
It's somehow saying getting Geno in Smash is going to mean your favorite character doesn't get in.
Yeah.
Or people are just, like, tired of seeing people say, I want Geno in Smash, so they're just, like, spiteful.
If you're on a message board for Smash Brothers, you should expect to see certain types of things. Yeah. And if you see a topic, and the title of the topic has something to do with Geno, and you don't like Geno talk, don't click on that topic. Go learn how to bake something new. Go outside. Walk up a hill. Even if it makes you kind of tired.
Oh, chances are you're looking at a Smash Brothers message board because you're bored.
Yeah. I didn't really intend for this to become a rant on the weirdo shut-ins of internet message boards, but so it's the eve of the Star Festival in Japan, which is like 2.5 hours. Let's see, that way's, let's say
that's kind of weird to think about.
2.5 hours that way.
We're really close to Japan.
Oh yeah, we're really close to Japan. Japan is a lovely country, and I recommend you visit when COVID stuff is settled down if you can. It's pretty expensive, but it's so clean and nice and safe, and like Korea is cool too. But I mean, obviously, a lot of you people watching this video are gonna have probably more of a connection to Japan through video games or anime or whatever than you will Korea. But go to Japan; it's cool. Japan's really close. It's like 2.5 hours that way by plane. Star Festival is tomorrow. So yeah, I'm making this video about Geno. So yeah, this is like a watered down and also longer, more bloated version of PapaGenos' Why Geno video from 2018. But this is mine. I want Geno in the game because I loved that game and it was a new thing, and I expected that stuff to be relevant and referenced going forward, because I thought of all games this way. I thought game developers cared about story,
right?
And I thought the stories moved in a straight line. So like, I remember being on the phone with my friend Kenny talking about Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, the series, and trying to explain to him why I think King K. Rool got in touch with his brother, because I think the instruction manual said that Captain K. Rool from DKC 2 was his brother, and how he got in touch with his brother to get back at the Kongs, and that was the plot of 2. And I'm trying to connect them by story, and Kenny was like, "Jordan, this is stupid. I don't care." But I just cared about story and this kind of stuff. And like, apparently now the canon is that all of the K. Rools, like King K. Rool, Captain K. Rool, Baron K. Rool, and Stein,
the Donkey Kong Country canon.
They're all the same guys. But like as a kid, I liked these
honestly,
games.
I mean, I think that's cool, but I can see where your friend's coming from.
Oh, no, totally,
I don't think anyone cared about the Donkey Kong Country story.
Nobody except for me. But like, I remember like the Kirby games. So like, King Dedede is like bad, but not really. He's your enemy a lot, but he doesn't seem to be evil.
He's just kind of, he's like an antagonist.
He's just like a jerk, I guess. But then, and I thought Meta Knight was evil, but now apparently Meta Knight's not evil either. The evil.
He's an anti-hero,
I guess. Whatever. It's like maybe King Dedede is Krillin or Yajirobe, and Meta Knight's like Vegeta. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah. So I remember like I played Kirby's Adventure as a really little kid. I was like 6, and then played Kirby Superstar when I was a little older on the Super Nintendo, and was like, man, you fight King Dedede a lot. And then Kirby 64 hadn't come out yet. But Nintendo, man, I'm old. Kirby 64 hadn't come out yet, the Crystal Shards, but Nintendo Power Magazine was in like the internet, which I was getting the chance to use here and there, was showing like screenshots of the game and like magazine articles that were like showing off the game, and it was suggested that maybe the dark matter. Well, it turns out early in the game of Kirby 64, the dark matter possesses King Dedede, and you got to fight possessed King Dedede. But I didn't know that it was just like a one-off thing where you see him possess him and you fight him and force him out. So I thought this whole time in all the Kirby games and all the plot that's been progressing from the first Kirby game, Dedede was possessed by the dark matter. So I thought it was like a plot revelation. I thought it was like...
That's just a device for that
game. One game, that one like stage, it needed a boss.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a plot revelation. The entire time, the reason Dedede was bad is because the dark matter was possessing him. And I was like really excited by what possibilities for like the story, and like I thought other people were keeping up with the story and interested in the story. So I called my neighbor Hunter and started talking to him about it. And he was just like, and he was like, "Can I go now?" And he was like, he was pretty young still, so he was kind of rude and didn't know he was being rude. Didn't care. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was like at that moment where I like realized that other people are not like me.
It's kind of sad. It's just like your friends growing up are just like, you just think for whatever reason that they automatically care about these things as much as you do.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of like a child mentality, you know, like when we're kids, we don't really think about everyone having different interests.
Oh, that's
we think if this person's my friend, they probably like all the same things I do.
Yeah, and they're interested in it for the same reasons.
Yeah.
That's like something in psychology I did a psychology minor way back in the day. I don't remember a lot of it, but that's it's like they think that like a baby or a toddler thinks if I want my bottle, then mom and dad must also want my bottle.
Right, yeah.
They don't know that their desires are disconnected from the desires of others. Like their brain hasn't developed yet to allow them to think down those paths of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I was older than that, but you know, it's like it's a less extreme example of that type of thinking. I thought
you're like probably what, less than 10?
How old was Kirby 64? I was probably 10 or 11.
Okay.
I was probably 10 or 11. Yeah, because Kirby 64 came out a year or two into the N64's. I guess I could look this up. Maybe it was 98.
Real quick.
It's not super important. I used to love the Kirby series a lot, and Sakurai, who makes Smash Brothers, created Kirby. Oh, 2000. Okay. Well, shoot, I was like 12.
I was 6.
All right. Oh, memories. So I used to, in the multiplayer for Kirby 64, I used to play as Waddle Dee a lot because I liked Waddle Dee. I liked the side characters of Kirby, and then now people want Bandana Waddle Dee for Smash, and I very much don't. But like, if he got in, it'd be cool for the people who want him. I guess like people wanting Bandana Waddle Dee, and I'm like, wow, he's so boring. But it's ironic because like he actually is one of the main characters of more recent Kirby games, whereas Geno really did only appear once. So I get people, when they want something and you don't want the same thing they want, they'll like latch on to their reasons for why your thing shouldn't make it and theirs should, and I'll do the same, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm not telling anyone your opinions or desires or wants or whatever are bad. But like I'm just totally talking about why I want Geno.
Right. And I mean, how many more fighters we got left? Like
5.
5?
Yeah, we don't know who they are.
Jeez, 5's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of characters. Like we thought like second like batch of fighters passes would be like maybe 2 or 3, just like extra characters. It's like, now here's 6. It's like, holy crap.
That was a silver lining at the end of that Byleth presentation.
Yeah. It's like, man, Sakurai, I thought you wanted to be done with this.
Yeah.
I guess he just wants to do a good job.
He said he wants to. There'll probably never be a chance to bring all these characters together again because it's like hard to do.
Yeah.
So if we've already done it, then in the same game, I want to like set the bar as high as I can before I like say I'm done with this game.
Right.
Which makes sense and is a good idea. So yeah. Anyway, I cared too much about plot stuff and story continuity, and I thought it was all the same creative people, like with the different teams work on different games, and
right.
Square-Enix has like their Osaka team and their Tokyo team, I guess, and like so that's just one example. But yeah, like the same people who made Mario RPG are not the people who are making Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was all just the same. It's like these are the guys who made Mario, and I just thought it was more straightforward, and I thought they cared about telling a continuous story. It's like Ghostbusters 2 is going to reference the events of Ghostbusters 1. So I thought this later Mario game was going to reference the fact that Geno helped Mario save the world and stuff like that. And then it was not so. But that's how my child brain understood things. I thought Kirby 64 was the next chapter saga of the Kirby story.
Uh-huh.
I thought the Donkey Kong Country games.
It's funny when you say it.
Yeah, it is now.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, I think I kind of thought that way to a degree. Like, thinking about the order of games, because I thought that was cool. Like, even though, like, there's a lot of game series that don't really have... They don't really reference each other or follow each other in any way. But, like, you'd think, oh, this game comes after this game. Therefore, it's like, these characters have memories of things that happened in the past. You like kind of think of these video game characters as like actual people in a way.
It's also, this kind of thinking is probably why I felt so betrayed by the Kingdom Hearts story and the direction that ended up going with all this stuff that's like, Tetsuya Nomura, you didn't plan this from the beginning.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's a little different because that's like, that has a focus on story.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I still kind of hold its feet to the fire. I think Kingdom Hearts' story is a crime, but
it's a mess.
But with Mario, the thing about Mario is like once I kind of realized none of this matters, these are all just video games, they're like toys. Mm-hmm. I stopped playing Mario games really. Like I play Smash Brothers because it's fun, but I didn't get Mario Sunshine when I was a teenager. I didn't get any of the Mario Galaxies. I know they're like supposed to be really good, but that's the thing is like I don't think I actually
wanted to play good, like fun games.
I don't know that I like video games, and I
like the stories that are told in some video games.
Yeah, and I want to like video games, and I want to find games where the story makes me think like, wow, this was worth like. Walking Dead point and click adventure, like season 1 was really great. Season 2 was really good. Last of Us is great. Journey was fantastic. I've kind of like had to force myself to gain an appreciation for games that just don't care about story. Like Bayonetta is so goofy and silly. Like there's nothing really substantial to that story at all. Devil May Cry is kind of the same.
Yeah.
And I played those games like thinking I'm gonna get into this world and see what's going on with these characters and what story this is going to tell. And then the story is nothing but like Dante is like sassy and he fights, and then like there's just nothing to it. It's so hollow, but it's all style and no substance. But like it never was trying to be substance. It's a video game and it's trying to be fun. And so like I had to kind of like develop an appreciation for that. And I kind of have, but it's still not really how I want to spend a lot of my time.
Yeah, it's not like your cup of tea.
It's not my passion. Like I am passionate about stories. Dark Souls infuriated me for a while because it was hard and frustrating, and I was like, "There's no story. This sucks. This is stupid." But actually, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, I think, are fascinating because their stories, because of the way they tell their stories, and the way they kind of don't tell their stories, but the stories are there.
It leaves a lot to interpretation, so it, lets your mind run wild with the possibilities.
Yeah, so I'm open to different things. I'm open to like in stories that you kind of create yourself or you kind of interpret it your way or whatever. Environmental storytelling. I'm open to stuff like that, but I want there to be something interesting, and I want to think that there might be something like rich and thematic going on. Even if it's not explicitly spelled out. And so, yeah, it's been a very gradual process of me learning that I don't really like a lot of games all that much, actually.
You don't necessarily like games for being games.
Yeah.
You'd rather just see a good story.
I like experiences. I can like a game for its story, or I can like it for being a really cool experience.
Right.
But I... like people who talk about playing through Devil May Cry or whatever, or like playing through Bloodborne so many times on all the New Game Plus settings.
Yeah.
Like if you enjoy that, cool. But like that's not a selling point for me. Like it has a New Game Plus, it has tons of replayability. Right. But like if I've already experienced the areas and the stories, then I don't really want to.
So basically, like a game's length isn't a selling point to you the way it is to some people, or the amount of content isn't a selling point to you the way it is to a lot of people.
Well, like for me it's like a question of quality over quantity.
Yeah.
But for them, the quantity adds to the quality because they're having fun with the content, so the more of it there is to have fun with, that is quality to them.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but for me it's like I am judging what is quality in a different way. And the short answer here is I should just read books. And I should watch some movies, but even most movies are not gonna do it because most movies suck.
I mean, I feel like nowadays more video games are trying to put stories in as like the selling point in the forefront, because I feel like more people care about video game stories now more than ever, really. Because man, I don't know like how many people I've seen on the internet who like the first thing they talk about with a lot of new games and stuff is about the story. Like no one talks about like the gameplay. Like, oh yeah, it's fun or whatever. It's like, but the story,
Get the mic closer to us.
Yeah.
But so we could go on and on and on and on about this, but at the end of the day, I don't know why I was gonna say that. Me wanting Geno in Smash started when I was a kid, and it's because I wanted this character to come back. And also, I just thought he was cool, and I still think he's cool. He's like a cool-looking doll.
It's like cool character design.
And the concept of like, if you haven't played the game, so like there's like all the NPCs, all the citizens of Mushroom Kingdom are like the Toad people, like the guys with mushrooms on their heads, and one of them is a boy living in Rose Town. His name is Gaz, and he owns the Geno doll. And so when the Star Spirit comes down, Gaz owns dolls of Mario, Toadstool, Bowser, and Geno. Geno came out of nowhere. Like Mario is apparently a hero in Mushroom Kingdom. Everyone knows him, so he's like famous.
He's like a celebrity.
Yeah, so they're like, "Whoa, you're the Mario." So Gaz has a toy of him, and when you walk into their inn that they run out of their house, Gaz is playing a game. He's like playing Save the Princess or whatever. So it's like Mario was challenging Bowser, but Gaz's favorite doll is Geno. So like Bowser actually like knocks out Mario, and then Peach is like, "Oh no, oh no," and then Geno shows up, and Geno's like, "I'm here to save the day." And Geno is Gaz's favorite doll, so Geno's the one who actually like stops Bowser, or something. And then the Geno doll actually has like a pretty powerful projectile, which like knocks out Mario. So like Gaz actually harms Mario like in real life outside the game. Like the real Mario is knocked out by this toy's attack, and so they like put him up in their bed. And while Mario is like unconscious, the Star Spirit comes down and possesses Geno that night. And so Geno gets up, and the Star Spirit is like, "I have my mission. I got to restore Star Road." Goes into the woods because one of Smithy's minions is in the woods with the Star Piece. When you beat Bowyer and get the Star Piece, you go back to Rose Town with Geno, talk to Gaz, and Gaz is like, "Wow, Geno, you came to life," or whatever. And Geno is like, "I have to go now for a while, Gaz." So it's like Gaz is like his hero, this like toy that he thinks is awesome, is now a real guy who's like a hero who's like really on a real mission to save the world. So it's like he's real life acting out this boy's childhood imagination, and he's like, "I have to go for a while, but like stay here and keep your mom safe for me, okay?" And Gaz is like, "Okay, Geno, I'm rooting for you." And it's just a cool dynamic that this toy is not like, because Geno is a Star Spirit, and Gaz doesn't understand this stuff, and he probably can't understand it because he's a young boy. So the Star Spirit possessing this doll just lets him think that his doll is the hero that that his mind believes. Yeah. So he just embraces the role of Geno and tells this kid like, "Be a good boy and like I'll come back," or something. So it's just a cool dynamic, and it's just cool. Like Geno is just a cool character in that way. You don't have to like him, but I was a kid and I played the game and I was like, "Wow, this is cool." And so I was 11. I wanted Geno in the game because I wanted to see more of that character because I thought he was cool. I wanted him in Smash Brothers. Still want him in Smash Brothers. I've literally wanted him before the first Smash Brothers came out, when I had just heard about what it was going to be. I was like, "Is Geno in it?" I got Banjo-Kazooie, so I'm like super happy about that. Like if I don't get Geno, then I'm still like, I'm happy with the game. It's like Banjo-Kazooie being in the game is amazing.
Right.
No one ever expected. I mean, like Microsoft owns them, but they're in a Nintendo game, so that's great. But yeah, like Geno, that'd be like, this is cheesy, but like it would be like a childhood dream coming true, like, which is just the whole like the kid and his doll that he thought was awesome, and then the doll comes to life. and Geno's whole thing is granting wishes.
Right.
And it's the eve of the Star Festival. And it made sense to make the video today. And then if the character is revealed tomorrow, which I don't think is going to happen, like if it is revealed tomorrow, it's like, there's no point to make this video anymore because the character has been revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, people want the character, not because he's blue with a gun arm, so Mega Man's not going to cut it. They want him because he's that character for them, from the game they remembered, and they like him for any of those reasons I just gave, or whatever other reasons. So, like, him being, like, a Mii costume because Mii Gunner has a gun, and you dress him up as Geno, that's better than nothing, but you can understand why that's not great. Like, if people want that character to return, and they want to finish the match as Geno and win, and they want the announcer to say, Geno wins, and they want the Mario RPG victory theme to play. They want something official Nintendo to acknowledge this game that seems to have been all but abandoned. They want that music to come back, and they hear the but it's in Smash Brothers. It's in a new, like, AAA, whatever, like, high-profile game, and that character has been recognized and brought back. That's what they want. Like, yeah. I was so happy when Banjo-Kazooie was brought back. This, like, abandoned character that I loved as a kid was brought back. You win a match as Banjo. Banjo's fighting against modern characters, and, like, he's in this, like, big, like, celebration of gaming, fighting game crossover with, like, all of the stars
Video
of
games,
gaming.
the game.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And you can fight Simon Belmont from Castlevania. You can fight Samus. You can fight Link. You can fight Byleth from modern games. You can fight... And then, like, Banjo-Kazooie wins, and it plays the music when you get a Jiggy, and Banjo does his victory dance thing. And Banjo says, "Gah." And it's in a modern game, and you're like... They took this thing that I loved as a kid and brought it back and did it justice. And it's... Yeah. It's a good feeling.
It's really cool.
Because it feels like, ever so slightly, like the world that is moving on without you hasn't moved on quite as much, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's like it's taken us, like it's stopping for a moment to look back and remember something.
And, yeah.
That meant something to a lot of people a long time ago.
I teach children. I showed some kids. It was a PowerPoint show, like it was for Halloween class, and it was a PowerPoint showing a bunch of different carved pumpkins, and like the different ways people, because like they don't really do Halloween in Korea, but
yeah,
it was showing kind of what Americans do sometimes. And one of the pumpkin carvings was Scooby-Doo. And, like, there was, like, SpongeBob and Hello Kitty and Mario, and all the kids were like, "Oh, SpongeBob, Hello Kitty," or whatever. And then, like, there's the Scooby-Doo one, and they're like, "Bear?" And it just kind of broke my heart. Like, they don't know the character Scooby-Doo. They thought it was a bear. I love Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is really old. So it's like, the world is moving forward and moving on without me. New characters are being made, and they're the ones the kids know. There's going to come a time when, like, people really don't know who the Flintstones are. They don't know who Pebbles and Bam Bam are. Yeah. Like, it's already, like, people are going to know Fred Flintstone for a long time. But they might not know Pebbles and Dino and Bam Bam. Like, they might know George Jetson, but they won't know Elroy. They won't know Judy Jetson or whatever. So it's like...
It's like people will know Mario, but... Right, they won't know who Geno is.
Oh yeah, that's kind of already already the case. Like,
I feel like the only reason people talk about him so much is because of Smash.
Yeah, no, and that's another thing people say. Like, Geno is more famous for being requested for Smash, but not being in Smash, than he is for Mario RPG. I think you might be right.
Like, less people are requesting a new Mario game with Geno as a main character in it than they are.
Yeah.
For Smash, because I think they realize, like you said, he's got a better chance of being in Smash than anything else, really.
Even if, and it doesn't mean he's going to be in Smash. Like, he might have a very poor chance of being in Smash. I don't know, but like, he has a better chance of being in Smash than he does in Mario Party, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis. Here's Geno from Mario Tennis. No, that's not going to happen. Like, when was the last time Mario Tennis crossed over with Square-Enix? Like, Smash Brothers already crosses over with all these other companies.
Right.
So we're asking for him for Smash Brothers because that might actually happen. He's not going to get into Mario Sunshine 2. That's just not going to happen. That's so absurd. That is ridiculous. Like, and then someone might say, well, if that's absurd, then think about how much more absurd it is for him to get into Smash. Because Smash is like a hall of fame of like important characters, whatever, like Ice Climbers, Mr. Game & Watch,
right?
Pit, like, I mean, Mr. Game & Watch was pretty important.
Yeah. But it's not necessarily a hall of fame. It's more of just like I don't know. It's just like a celebration of video games.
How important was Roy from Fire Emblem? How important was Corrin? How important was Byleth? Like, their promotional picks. I mean, not that Geno's going to be promoting anything unless they like remake Mario RPG, which that'd be kind of cool, like an HD remake or fully 3D remake or whatever. But although I don't even want that. I just want Geno. Like, if they made a fully 3D remake, it's like, great. I still probably am going to prefer the original. I just want Geno and Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world's moving on without me, and I mean, video games are, especially like Nintendo stuff, Mario, all that stuff. Like, it's not really meant to appeal to probably 32-year-old Jordan Bagwell who's read Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. Like, and I understand that.
Yeah. But
yeah, anyway, I'm sitting here. I have explained, I think, pretty thoroughly why I want this character in Smash Brothers. I used to play Smash Brothers. I mean, it's like, it's the party game. It's kind of, I almost want to say it's more of a go-to partio. It's more of a go-to party game than Mario Party. Like, I mean, it certainly was for me and my friends. Although we played the heck out of Mario Party 1, like me and Jameson and my neighbors Lisa and Travis. But we also played a ton of Smash Brothers, and like, I never got any other Mario Parties, but I got more Smash Brothers games. It's pick it up and play.
I mean, it's either that or Mario Kart.
Yeah, I just don't like racing games much. It's like, oh no, I didn't turn enough, and now I hit the wall, and suddenly the game's not fun again because like, I hit the wall and I'm slowed down, and now I know I'm gonna lose, so I'm not gonna have any fun for the rest of the match, like, or for the rest of the race. So like,
I don't know, unless you're like in the back, and then they give you all the good items because you're in the back.
I don't like Mario Kart. Like, it's like the most. It might be the most popular Nintendo game. Like, it's the most casual.
I think it is, yeah.
I mean, like, I don't hate it. I just never, ever think, like, I want to go play Mario Kart, ever. I never think that. Right. I had Mario Kart 64, but I didn't want it. I got Mario 64. It didn't work. I got it for Christmas, along with my N64 when I was a kid. It didn't work, but it actually did. We just hadn't hooked up the N64 right because we were... So we thought, like, oh, maybe the game's messed up, so we returned it and got Mario Kart 64 because they didn't have another copy of Mario 64. But I wanted to play a game like right away. Yeah. So it's like, well, you can get Mario Kart 64, and then I had Mario Kart instead of Mario 64, which is anyway. Yeah, first world problems, but man, I just don't care at all about racing games. Anyway. I don't want that's why, like, Geno gets into Mario Kart would be like a game that I never want to play. Geno's in it now, fantastic. It's not going to happen, but even if it did, it'd be like, cool, I guess. I don't like the game though, but I love Smash Brothers. It's just fun and silly, but yeah. So lots of good memories of Smash Brothers. Like, N64 game, we'd always go to the Great Fox level because it's huge. It'd be like me and Jameson, Elisa and Travis, and sometimes like Gunnar, my cousin Gunnar, and Christopher. And then Smash Brothers Melee, same thing. Smash Brothers Brawl in college with all my college friends. And then I didn't really play Smash 4, but I only really got Ultimate because the Everyone Is Here trailer, plus the reveal of Ridley, and then like a month later, the reveal of Simon and K. Rool. And apparently Chrom and Dark Samus were heavily requested, although I didn't care about them. I didn't even know who really they were, like, because I hadn't played Metroid Prime, and I'd never played Fire Emblem. But the point is, they were like adding these requested characters, so I started to think like, oh, they might add in Geno and Banjo-Kazooie. I thought Geno had a better chance than Banjo. I thought it was kind of weird that like Geno didn't make it, but Banjo-Kazooie did. I wanted Banjo more, so I'm not complaining, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of like backwards. Like, Geno should be easier to get than Banjo because Microsoft owns another console. And Geno was in a Mario game. But anyway, Yeah, I thought, man, they're gonna like maybe add in some characters, and like my brother had just died, and I'm thinking about like things we used to do together, and like, so I was like deep diving for nostalgia, I think, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I was thinking Smash Ultimate seems to be listening to people who have these long time requests, and like they put in King K. Rool and he throws his crown and he shoots his like pirate gun, and it's just like, wow, look at all this love they're showing these old characters. Like they're like reducing late 20s early 30s men with beards on the internet to tears.
They really are.
Like I didn't cry because I'm not hamming it up for the camera so people will like my videos. But I saw people cry. I don't know if it was real or not. I think a lot of those people were idiots, but yeah, no, but like I do think there was like an emotional. Like, I was emotional when like Banjo-Kazooie was announced.
Yeah,
I didn't cry, but I almost could have, and I think I don't think I know because I watched that reaction so many times.
Yeah.
I said that, I meant it. I was like, I was sitting there like I wasn't doing anything for effect. I forgot I was in front of a camera when he was revealed. Like I couldn't speak. I was seeing perfect looking Banjo in HD running around with Kazooie on a Smash Brothers stage, and I was just I couldn't believe it, and I couldn't speak until I could, because I was like, he's pounding him with Kazooie. Well, yeah. Anyway, it made me really happy, and I just want a little bit of, I would love Isaac from Golden Sun, but that's not going to happen. He's an assist trophy. But I'm happy he's an assist trophy over nothing. He's also a Mii fighter costume. Or he's a Mii sword fighter costume.
Yeah. So
I can dress up some stubby little man to look like Isaac. And if you ignore the fact that Isaac's main selling point should have been his earth synergy and his big hand-moving thing, and be like, well, he's got a sword. He's a sword fighter. Mii sword fighter. Perfect. Done. If you can swallow that, then okay, cool. But he's an assist trophy. Man, what a dumb video.
It's been going for an hour.
Yeah. Anyway, Geno. I want Geno in Smash.
The end. Period.
Just cuts off.
Yeah.
I'm also going to take this time to say that this whole time we've been recording this, I've had a PapaGenos video paused on my monitor. I got two monitors. One of them is Audacity recording the audio just in case it ends up being better than the camera audio. The other is just like a paused PapaGenos video. It's paused, and I didn't mean to do this, but I paused it while he was in the middle of saying something, so he's like, and it's just funny looking. I love PapaGenos. I love his videos. Most of the stuff he theorizes or talks about or whatever is wrong, or like doesn't end up coming to pass. And like, who cares? Like he's not trying to be Mr. Accurate news reporter. He says this in every video and people still don't get it. Like they're like, man, he'll fall for anything. He's desperate for views or whatever. Like people just don't get it. He enjoys speculating about Smash, and so he speculates about Smash. He makes videos. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
It's like people just see, it's a video on the internet. You know, everything in this video must be like, you know, fact or something, stated as fact.
Yeah. Or like, he says he doesn't believe this theory, but by covering it, he's like spreading the theory and giving it credence. He says he doesn't believe it.
Right.
So he's spreading the fact that it is a theory, and he's saying, I think this one's not credible. So keep that in mind with your brain that's capable of holding two thoughts at the same time before you move forward. And if you can't do that, that's on you. Like,
right.
You should like get a job. I almost said something. Like, if you're strong enough, see if you can find work moving rocks from one place to another. Anyway, don't watch it if you don't like it, for the love of God. There's a guy in his room with like Nintendo Power magazines lined up in his amiibo collection on display, and he's like, hey guys, wow, I'm positive and nice, I like video games, you like video games too? Let's talk about it. When people are like, you're spreading misinformation. Like, are you insane?
I mean,
let the guy make his Nintendo videos.
Right. I mean, chances are a lot of people don't even watch the videos. They saw maybe one video and was like, I don't like it.
Yeah, a lot of them don't watch the videos, and they say they don't. Yeah, they're just miserable people online.
I mean, look at, like, so many... Like, look at any YouTuber with a decent following, and look at all the people that, like, comment immediately. Like, videos just been posted, and, like, people already comment before they've watched the video at all, and, like, crap all over it immediately. Hit dislike or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, people already have their opinions.
Like, you have to... I'm holding everybody to the standard of knowing what words mean.
Yeah.
And so the words that he says are, I don't think this one is true, but I'm covering it just because it's out there and because I think speculation is fun. So, let's break down these sentences. I think speculation is fun. That's a big one. What are the reasons he's doing this? I think speculation is fun. Read this sentence. Read it 5 times. Read it 10 times. Why is he making this video? I don't believe this. Read that one 10 times. Read it 15 times. But if you don't believe it, then why are you covering it? Wait a minute, look at the other sentence. Remember that one? I think speculation is fun. Okay, like...
Brain's hurting.
This is not difficult, you guys.
Yeah.
I hate humanity. God. The unwashed masses. Sharing memes all over Facebook. God, okay. Yeah, internet was a mistake. Social media was a mistake. Harry Potter was a mistake.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
I think a lot of that stuff's done way more harm than good.
God, okay. I brought up PapaGenos because I was going to say he and I actually have a lot in common. Now, from watching his videos since like around this time, I've been on this journey of
like
caring
2
about
years.
Smash Brothers for 2. Well, yeah, because it was E3. Jameson died right around E3.
Summer.
So
2018.
Jameson died, and then like immediately the Everyone Is Here trailer came out, and Ridley was revealed. And so like at the same time, like I'm this new thing in my life is my brother is dead. At the same time, like within a span of a few days in one direction or the other, I think E3 happened first. Smash Brothers Ultimate became a thing that I knew was going to happen with Ridley. So I've said this before, but I like latched onto it. I didn't even mean to. I didn't try to. It's just my brain latched onto Smash Brothers Ultimate, and I started thinking about it a lot. And one of the first I was like desperate for new information after that August 8th direct that revealed Simon and Richter and Chrom and Dark Samus and K-Rool. I was like, oh, that was really exciting and cool. When's the next batch of information coming out? And so I started, I got familiar with YouTubers. I would, search Smash Brothers speculation or whatever on YouTube. PapaGenos, Billy Bo 10K, a bunch of these guys, Aaron Nitmar, Alpha Rad, Esam. I just watch people's reaction videos to the direct and their speculation. So yeah, I've been watching PapaGenos forever, and over the course of watching all this PapaGenos and seeing his channel grow and expand, he doesn't really talk about his private life, but he has said that his name is Brandon, and he said that he's, at the time, this was 2 years ago, he said he was 30 years young. That's what he said. I'm 30 years young. And I was like, I'm 30. Mm-hmm. And then I later found out his birthday is in November.
Oh.
Mine's in November. So it was like we both, his most wanted character was Geno, but his second most wanted, or I don't know, it was like they were very close. They were kind of almost about the same. His second was Banjo-Kazooie. Mm-hmm. And my two were always Geno and Banjo-Kazooie. His other one was like Little Mac, but he got Little Mac in Smash 4. But so yeah, it's like Geno, Banjo-Kazooie, 30 years old, birthday in November, and like his video about like why Geno, like why do I want Geno, why do people want Geno, was like spot on. Like he would have been in probably the same grade as me at the same time, like 3rd grade. He was talking about like when I was in elementary school, all my friends and I would like want to play Mario RPG like on the playground. Like I'd want to be Geno. Like I pretend to be Geno. I used to do that stuff. Mm-hmm. I would play Zelda with my friends, and it's like one of them is Link. I think I was Link, and like one of them is Skull Kid, and one of them is some other random Kokiri child, because we have 4 kids. We got to find a character for the other kid. And we used to play that. But yeah, we played Mario RPG. We played Kirby. I'm Kirby. You're Waddle Doo. You're Bioshock the Ninja or whatever, which was his name. Yeah, so yeah, PapaGenos and he just like what he described was like that was my childhood. I think that guy and I are pretty similar in a lot of ways, I guess. Yeah, he's been making these speculation videos, and he's been talking a lot about the July 7th Challenger Pack 7, Fighter number 77, Legend of the 7 Stars. Look at all these 7s everywhere, like Geno thing, which he doesn't think is going to happen, and I don't think is going to happen, but he has pointed it out because it's worth talking about, like, if you want to talk about it for fun. And I've been thinking about making this video for a while. I wanted to get my why Geno-ish video out there that no one's going to watch before either Geno is revealed or he's not. So this has been an hour and some change. This has been an hour and 10 minutes.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Still just looking at that guy's funny face. Man, that is a lot of Nintendo.
Some of those Nintendo Power magazines that he's featuring back there, I had as a kid.
Oh, yeah?
I had them because I subscribed. I got like a half subscription for like, I think I got 6 issues, 1 per month, and I had them, and I kept them under my bed. Like, not to hide them, it's just I was a kid, so I didn't, like, I had to put my stuff somewhere. So, like, I think I had the one with Tony Hawk there. I had the people who are watching this video can't see. We're looking at a paused PapaGenos video with his magazines and stuff in the background. I think I had the one with Banjo-Kazooie on the cover there. I think I had the one with Tony Hawk on the cover there. I still remember, like, I don't remember the names of the columns, but there were sections where, like, readers could write in and...
Yeah, it's almost like advice columns or where they ask questions or whatever.
They would ask questions and readers would respond and write in, and it's like, who do you think is the best character in Smash Brothers? And at the time they were talking about 64 because that was the only one that existed, and people were like, I thought the best character was Kirby. Apparently the best competitively is Pikachu, but Kirby's like number 2. In Smash 64, Kirby was really great, and I thought the best was Kirby, and I remember someone wrote in and said Kirby, and then like Nintendo's response was like, Nintendo Power's response was like, we must admit Kirby is rather good, or something.
Yeah.
That's like how they phrased it. And then like, they had like a little heading for every response, like they would like give a summary of like their idea of the person's response. And one person wrote, like, all the characters have the capacity to be the best. It depends on who's playing them and the circumstances. And Nintendo Power's little summary of like their little subheading for that response was finally a philosopher. Just a random memory I have. I remember the Banjo, like for a while, Banjo-Kazooie was still new, and they were like there was a strategy guide that you could buy. Nintendo Power had a Banjo-Kazooie player's guide. You could buy it and then you have the player's guide. But they were also doing like a segment in each of their issues that would cover 3 levels of Banjo-Kazooie at a time. So like, it like the first time they did that, it was, Spiral Mountain is hardly a level. It's just like the tutorial area. So I guess they covered like Mumbo's Mountain, Treasure Trove Cove, and Clanker's Cavern, and then the next one covered Bubble Gloop Swamp, Freezeezy Peak, and Gobi's Valley, and then the next one covered... I skipped one. The point is, the reason I'm saying this is because they didn't end up finishing it. And the last one, they said that the final sections of the game, Click Clock Wood, Grunty's Furnace Fun, and the final battle, we're just going to let you experience those for yourself. So they just kind of gave up on covering the game. Like, they told you how to get every jigsaw piece, and I think every music note, and every Jinjo, Well, of course, every Jinjo, because you have to get the Jinjos from one of the jigsaw pieces. But they said that for every regular world, except the very last one, Click Clock Wood, Grunty's Furnace Fun was not a world. It was like a weird game show challenge you had to get through before the final battle. And the final battle is the final battle. But Click Clock Wood was like just another world. It was the last one, but it was another world. But they didn't cover it. This has nothing to do with anything. I'm just remembering things from Nintendo
Just remembering
Power.
Nintendo Power.
Yeah, Nintendo Power magazine.
I'm pretty sure I got like one of their very last issues, like physical, like magazines, and it was for Dream Drop Distance.
They were making physical magazines that long,
Yep.
that late.
Yep.
2012, they were still making them.
Yep.
Wow. Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah, it was on the cover.
Kingdom Hearts on the 3DS, if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that was their last one, but they announced that they were like stopping like pretty soon after that. It was like one of their last. I'm pretty sure you can find archives of like all of the Nintendo Power magazines.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can find that stuff. Anyway, I don't guess there's too much reason to record too much longer. Nintendo, Smash Brothers, Masahiro Sakurai, Sora Limited, keywords,
You're just spouting out words now.
just tags,
Yeah.
Geno, Mario RPG. Yeah, the fact that I like sat here and talked about this for over an hour might make it seem like I'm obsessed, but like if Geno doesn't get added to the game, like I mean it's like disappointing because I want him, but it's fine. Like the game is great. The game was great even before the DLC came out. It was really fun. It's a good game.
You pretty much bought a Switch for
Yeah.
this one game.
But it was in the hopes that Banjo-Kazooie would be added and Geno.
Yeah.
But even if they hadn't been added, like had a ton of fun with it. But then the DLC came out and then Banjo-Kazooie was added and it's like, oh, well. And I still, when I play as them, can't believe it. And so, yeah, I'm not obsessed. No.
You like shaking?
Yeah. No, I sat here and talked about this for ages because, like, if I'm going to talk about this thing that I've wanted to happen for, 22 years,
It's gonna be weird.
and I'm going to deep dive into
It's gonna be weird, like after the end of 2021, all the like Smash Brothers Ultimate like has officially ended development. It's gonna be weird, not thinking about what's coming
about what's to
for
come.
that.
Yeah, like, what am
I mean, there's probably going to be another Smash Brothers game,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be like this.
And it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to like deep dive into it and go all over the place in regards to like how I feel about it, memories associated with it, why I want this, blah blah blah. I'm not like, yeah, I mean if it doesn't happen I'll like be okay. I guess I'm pretty good at talking about stuff that I am interested in. Don't know what I'm going to be living for after the last deal. No, I'm just kidding. No, like, that is going to be significant, though. Like, I've, like, lived with this for so long.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I've been thinking about this stuff, like, almost every day for such a
2
long
years.
time. Yeah, and another year and a half to go, I guess. I mean, like, the only other thing in my life that is, like, I mean, I'm alive, and, like, there's people in my... But, like, in terms of, like, a separate thing outside of me that someone is making that I pay attention to, that, like, I guess I follow long-term is One Piece. I've often thought that one major reason I don't want to, like, get hit by a car while crossing the street is because I won't get to see how One Piece ends. I love One Piece, and I think it's a brilliantly handled and executed long-form story, and I want to see the ending. But anyway, Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird when this is all over. But yeah, I hope Geno's in Smash. We've been circling around the end of this video for a good...
You'll probably chop some of this stuff up.
Oh, no, I won't. I don't want to do that.
You just absolutely leave everything in.
I'm going to render it and just dump it. I don't want to put any effort into this. Might add some music here or there.
Fair enough.
Probably not. The only bad word I've said in this video was asshole so far. I called somebody that. I forget what I said exactly. I forget why I said that. Oh, that kid who told me that I could get Geno on Mario Kart.
The Kmart kid.
Yeah, the Kmart kid.
Kmart kid.
He probably grew up to do bad. He probably grew up to like scam
probably did
old
drugs.
People, senile old people out of their money. Probably like was one of those people who like calls an old woman who's lonely and like tells her that he's a different man and he's in love with her and like starts a 2-year relationship with her where they never meet and she gets emotionally dependent on him. And then he scams her out of all this money and then just disappears and he never existed at all and just like ruins this old woman's life and hurts her, breaks her heart. Probably did that, you lying bastard.
Probably gonna say he was probably laughing in his mom's car on the way home about how he tricked you. Or maybe not. Maybe that kid was really, really a saint and that was the only lie he ever told.
I was about to say something that I don't think I want to have in the YouTube video. So we're gonna call this good.
Okay.
Thanks for sitting here.
You're probably not sitting here anymore.
Thank you for your hardcore, unblinking attention on this video. I'm glad your mind didn't wander a single time. I hope the sound of my rumbly voice lulled you into something like a trance, and you were able to go to that place from my childhood, that mental, almost spiritual place where you jump down a hollow tree stump and bounce on top of the wiggler to get coins. And then you jump on the smiley face trampoline to pop back up out of the tree stump, and then you go further into the woods and there's Geno. What's he doing? And then you follow him and you fight Bowyer, and then you the star piece monologue, and then you gotta go and you fight Smithy and you beat Exor, you get to Bowser's Keep and you fight your way through and you beat Exor the sword and you get sucked into his mouth and now you're in this weird factory dimension and Smithy's there and Bowser comes out and is like, this is where I'm done, we already got my castle back, I'm not gonna help you fight anymore. And then Geno comes out and Geno's like, you don't understand, Smithy's the source, if we don't defeat Smithy then none of this is gonna, like, he'll just come back and your castle will be taken over again. And you're just going to go back to that place when Mario had a plot and you cared about all this stuff happening and you thought it was going to continue. You thought there was integrity in storytelling and you thought video games were more than just cheap garbage whipped up to sell to kids. And you believed in the artistic integrity of storytelling, and you were a child and you trusted adults and you trusted the world and the way the world was supposed to be, and you didn't watch movies with bad content, not because your parents told you not to, but because your parents told you not to and you believed that your parents wanted the best for you.
Well,